All right, now we are live. I'm Michael Cortese of Noble Spirit in Pittsfield, New Hampshire.
And I'm Charles Epting of HR Harmer in New York City. And I need to mute my computer because I can hear myself.
Oh.
And this is Conversations with Philatelists, live stream number 9.
Yeah. So afterthoughts of the Great American Stamp Show, Chicago. Or were you going to start off with something else?
No, I was going to say I'm not sure there's much news to talk about other than just sort of decompressing from the last couple of weeks with the shows. I think that's where my mind is at. Chicago was a great show.
People have been talking about it a lot. Lynn's had an article today. Michael Badke said it. Hobby looked bright. Future of the hobby looked bright, and then they had an article on the health of the APS membership.
I'm going to be honest. It all still is kind of a blur and a whirlwind to me when you're, behind the booth the whole time and the days all blend together and you're just talking to people. But no, I haven't read the Lynn's article yet, but this was this felt like a really good show. I'm really happy that it went off successfully. Huge thank you to Wendy Mazzorti, who sort of stepped in as the show's head very last minute. And that was her first APS show that she's been with the APS for a long time, but that was her first show that she was in charge of. So huge thank you to her and everyone else at the APS for letting us have a really good time. But
these things don't always go off super smoothly. I remember Dana stopped by the booth, Dana Geyer from the ASDA, talking about how her and Wendy last minute were throwing together chairs that hadn't been put out. And they did a terrific job getting stuff ready for all the dealers and the attendance. Yeah,
absolutely. So that was fun. I'm excited to do it again. The show's calendar. While we're talking,
that'd be terrific. I know while we were there, you already had a Nojex booth. I signed up for Nojex.
Exactly.
While we were there.
Stamp show calendar 2021. I know all of the shows. I just can't remember what order they come in.
Right.
So I'm going to call up the calendar and we can go through these show by show and see who's going to what. So Ballpex is the first weekend of September, the 3rd through 5th. I'm probably going to be there for a day or two because Baltimore's such an easy train ride. I don't think that's a bit further for you.
It is, and that's Kaylee's birthday that weekend.
So she wants to celebrate her birthday in Baltimore, is what you're saying. After that, CPEX in Seattle, I would love to go to, but I can't see myself getting out to Seattle, unfortunately, these days. Then Houston is the week. Man, there's really a show every week.
Yeah. Well, this was what the list looked like, but for canceling shows when COVID hit. So now everybody's trying to get their shows in. And
it's like the dam just broke open and everyone's like, oh, Westpex and Chicago were successful. So you've got Seattle, then Houston the weekend after that. Then Boxborough the weekend after that. That's the 24th through 26th. I'll see you there, right?
Yeah, I've got a booth the whole weekend.
You do have a booth.
Cool. I've got a booth at Boxborough, and you're coming up for one day.
I'm coming up for a day or two.
Or two.
I might. We'll see.
You should stay. You should stay over and then.
Well, it's also an hour and a half from my house, so I could go up 2 days and just drive.
Yeah.
So, anyways, okay, let's not get too distracted. So that's the 24th through 26th. Then the 1st through 3rd is IndiePex and WinePex in Northern California.
Okay.
Then October 8th through 10th is San Diego, which is taking the place of SESCAL this year.
Okay.
Then the weekend after that, it really doesn't let up. The weekend after that is Nojex. That's the 15th through 17th. We'll both be there.
Yep.
The weekend after that is NAPEX, which I'll be at for a day or two. The weekend after that is UN Expo in Belfont.
This is incredible.
Holding an auction there. Next weekend, a couple of smaller shows, nothing crazy. So that first weekend of December is everybody's chance to relax.
Yeah.
And then Chicago PEX is the 19th through 21st of November.
Yeah.
And then Florex is the 3rd through 5th of December. And then that's it. Nobody's holding anything around.
So this is on the APS website.
Yes, I'm on the APS. Exactly. They have a shows calendar, and I'm just reading the big shows. But for every weekend, there's 2 or 3 smaller regional shows, which the APS does a great job of promoting. But I almost feel like people are trying to make up for lost time,
Yeah.
holding these shows. San Diego came out of nowhere. There's even new shows being started, which is crazy. It's not that we're losing shows; we're gaining shows.
Which is incredible.
It is. So, yeah, I'm excited to, maybe we can have people on. I think we should do something around each of these shows. Maybe have on a board chairman or a coordinator or something to do our part to promote them, because there's great geographical diversity.
Yeah.
And that's not even to mention Stampex at the end of September.
Yeah.
So international shows too, but I'm excited for it to be back. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And what's exciting about Stampex is even if you can't get over to London, they're still doing a virtual part. I haven't looked too much into what the virtual is yet, but we've got a couple emails about it, and I'm interested to see what's happening with the virtual, how they're going to integrate it, because there was always that talk when they started with virtual Stampex. Back when you go to regular shows, in-person shows, how are you going to match up what the virtual experience with what people are experiencing in real time at the show?
It was almost easy when you couldn't have a physical show. They were like, oh, everything's got to be virtual. Now that you can have a physical show, it is about bridging that gap. And I see a lot of people on Twitter who just geographically can't get to some of these shows but want to take part, and I'm excited to see how people, I think Stampex hopefully will find it successful so that they can keep moving forward with this sort of joint strategy in the future.
Mm-hmm. So we've got a couple of comments here. The first one, I'll go in order. Nord Stamps is asking about a good first day cover cachet catalog. So I've been working on a big first day cover collection. So do you want to pronounce that? It's the
Planty Malone.
Planty Malone. Okay, Planty Malone. I've been
Planty
using
Malone.
That, but yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about its
like the relevance of King's exhibit?
Yeah.
Planty Malone came out in, I want to say originally in the 70s or 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the most recent edition is the early 90s.
Yeah. Those are the ones that we have, like 93 or something.
Can you riff for like 30 seconds?
Do you want me to go grab one? I
was going to go grab mine.
Yours is probably closer.
It is. Riff for 30 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. So Planty Malone is broken down by Scott number, but then also year. So you'll see it's got like 1932 to 33, Scott number X through X, 1934 through 35, X through X. And how it catalogs them is by Scott number, and then it'll put a dash, and then it'll put a number afterwards, and that's the cachet. So it'll be Scott, let's just pick a number, 600-1, 600-2, 600-3, and those are the different cachet makers. So you'll see, I don't know if you'll see Flugel on there, but you'll see different Fleetwoods, Crosbys, Dorothy Knapps, things like that. And because it's 1993, I think was the most recent one. It's pricing wise a little outdated. So when I've been putting together this first day cover auction, we haven't been using the pricing, but we've been using the numbers, because that way people.
It took me a second. Are you there?
Use So he says for Norway first day covers, there's been a few 100% price increase after the catalog came out. Yeah, so it's the same kind of thing. The prices are way off, but
so this is the 1939 volume. They did it by year and by Scott number range. So this is Scott numbers 852 through 854. That would be the San Francisco World's Fair, New York World's Fair, and what was that? The Centennial of the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. This came out in 2004. I think this is the most recent volume.
Oh, 2004. I don't even have those.
So, I was going to say this is 2004 as well. This is 38 and 39. And then sort of the further back you go, the older they are. So the Army Navy one was 2000. That's
okay.
37. And then the earlier volumes we have in a binder.
Interesting.
I
just have the hardbound. Not hardbound, but like I don't have the, what do you call that? The black strip binding it together. We don't even have those.
Yes.
We just have the bound ones.
So Planty Malone for cachets is good. I will tell you there are a number of not of the period cachets listed in Planty Malone,
Mm-hmm.
and there are a good number of period cachets not listed in Planty Malone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not perfect. If you happen to collect a stamp issue that they did a volume for, that's fantastic because
Yeah.
you're luckier than most. I think what should be done, and what I hope somebody like Scott Catalog might tackle at some point, is a guide to the artists who did it cachets over a long period of time. So
Yeah.
obviously people know about Dorothy Knapp, but what about Laffert? What about Flugel? What about
Right.
and even then
Crosby.
Crosby. I was gonna say, then you have the big companies, the Art Craft, the Art Master. There is an exceptional catalog of just art craft cachets, but I think there does need to be sort of an entry guide. Even just looking around the border does all the names. Of the
So
cachet.
this is the first time something ever like this has happened. We just got Nord Stamps just tweeted at me for the Norway first day cover catalog, a photo of it, because we're talking about first day covers now. So can you see that?
Yeah, that's fantastic compared to what we have.
Yeah, so yeah. This looks, is that hard? Yeah, that looks great. Compared to the US equivalent, we're really living in the past there. Yeah. Peter, stamped in.
Before we get to Peter.
Okay.
I just want to say, Planty Malone, only secondhand now. If you can track them down,
Right.
They are simultaneously essential and frustrating. So if you go in with realistic expectations, they are a wonderful set of catalogs to have.
Yeah.
We use them. Ignore the prices. For pricing, look at what things are selling for on eBay or at auction. Mm-hmm. Jim McCusker, Doug Weiss, guys like that.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it needs to be updated, but for the time being, it's the best we have are the Planty Malone catalogs.
Yeah.
Now on to Peter.
Peter, fill in the pond. Happening now. Get on a plane, he said. So I'm assuming that's a Japanese stamp show.
What time is your flight, Michael? Is what I'm saying. I've never been to Asia before.
I haven't either.
Let's go. Peter, are you attending the show? And can you report back?
Yeah, I mean, if you could take some photos, Peter, and send them to us. That'd be incredible.
And Stamp Cave was at StampX 2019. I was at 2018, I want to say, but okay. London 2022.
I'm looking forward to that.
Very much looking forward to that. Yeah. I was really excited for London 2020. Mm-hmm. Most of all because one of my favorite bands, the Boomtown Rats, were playing.
Okay.
On the last night of the show, and I had a ticket to see the Boomtown Rats in concert.
Okay.
So as much as I was looking forward to the show, the concert too.
Same kind of feeling, because as much as I'm looking forward to the show, Chelsea play Leicester at home on the last day of the show.
Which we're going to, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Us and Scott.
I mean, that'll be my second soccer game I've ever been to.
Yeah.
I saw Italy play Mexico once.
Oh, you did? Where?
In Los Angeles.
Oh, probably for the Copa America.
I think it was just a scrimmage.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it was at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum.
Yeah, Copa America, that wouldn't make sense. It was Italy, so probably just a friendly. Yeah,
it was a friendly. Exactly. Does that do I go up in your book for having been to that?
No, that sounds good. That's yeah.
Peter's going to be at Philatelic tomorrow. Wow. I would love a report. I would love to hear back about that because.
So we got on a plane now. We would just make it in time.
Right, because it's like yesterday there.
Yeah. September 3rd through 5th is the Trondheim 2021.
Trondheim. Okay. So
Trondheim. Okay, thank you. Trondheim.
Bringing a ton and a half of stamp. We'll tweet photos. Thank you, Peter. I actually.
Wow, ton and a half.
I was on a plane that had a layover in Trondheim once. I've never actually been, but I was on the runway at the airport. I was going from Oslo to Longyearbyen in Spitsbergen. Yeah. And we had a layover. So I have a Trondheim passport stamp in my passport that I just sent off to get renewed. But now we have to go to a stamp show there.
Yeah. So I think the message for today really is that stamp shows are back.
They're coming back. I was going to say, we have sort of a tunnel vision, America-centric view of this.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think in Germany they're starting to come back. My colleagues have said, obviously, Norway and Japan look like they're going to be successful. So I'm happy that we're getting back to that point.
Yeah, I'd love to attend one of these. Even like I know London's an international show, but even outside of just London, because even London itself feels familiar as an American.
Right. I was at Chicago looking for a new collection I'm starting. Just what I need. Yeah, I'm collecting the Northern Irish regional definitive.
Right. You mentioned that,
and the Wildings and everything with the red hand of Ulster on them. And I said to somebody like, what dealers would you even go to? He's like, you've just got to go to local shows in the UK.
Yeah.
Just go to Manchester or where. Just go to like a local bourse, and you'll be able to find these things by the pound.
Right. Right.
So I would love. And then the other one that I really want to get to is wow, we have more Norwegians in the comments than we have Americans. But the other one I want to get to is Zindelfingen, the big German postal history show. Have you heard of this?
I haven't.
An annual show in Germany. I forget where. Thomas, where is Zindelfingen? Southwestern Germany. That is considered to be just one of the best annual shows in all of Europe, and I've been dying to get there someday. So we should we could kind of be like the Anthony Bourdain of stamps and just travel and film episodes.
Yeah, that'd be incredible.
Totally neglect our respective jobs.
Yes, yeah. The jobs. It's been good to get back to work because Westpex was fantastic, and then we had a tiny bit of time between Chicago. So we got to Chicago, came back from Chicago, and I'm just excited to start working on stamps again.
We should do an episode. When do your auctions go live?
The auction, so 21st of September is the first day cover auction, and then the 4th. So it's a tiny bit different because they're on eBay. So when you say go live, when they open September 10th is when the first day covers go online, and then they're open for 10 days. They end on the 20th, and then they're from the 20th to the 25th. So
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Can we be? We are not often self-promotional,
right?
Can we do an episode in a week or two where I preview our 5 upcoming auctions, and you preview your 2 upcoming auctions?
That'd be incredible.
Yeah. We can do a show and tell where we pick like 10 lots that we think are exciting.
Yeah.
And we'll just screen share and show off what we've got coming up. That would be fun, right?
Yeah, that would be fun. Do you want to do that on a live stream or an actual episode?
I think we should do an actual episode.
Okay.
Because live stream.
This is how it works behind the scenes, guys.
Yeah, exactly. This is our planning meeting. That would be fun though, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yeah, I'd like that because we got a lot of exciting stuff, and some of the stuff that you have is phenomenal.
I'm overwhelmed. I'm looking like over my computer screen at what's coming up, and I've got so much to describe. This fancy cancel collection. Anybody who follows me on Twitter has probably seen the random fancy cancels the last couple of days and weeks.
Can I show you a photo that Nord Stamps just tweeted at me again?
Yes.
So this is the 1.5 tons of stamps that they're bringing to the show. That's incredible. That's incredible. I love stuff like that. That's awesome.
That is so cool.
That is. That's awesome.
I just realized I didn't follow North Stamps back. That's fixed now.
Oh, I hadn't either. Jeez. Okay, sorry.
That's so cool.
Yeah. That's a lot of fun. I love talking to, because we talk to so many people outside of the business and in the business and things like that. We just get so excited about. We've got a collection coming from Washington State in the next 2 to 3 weeks that I'll send some photos out of. That's coming on an 18-wheeler because it's about 600-700 cartons. That I'm excited for. A lot of it pre-sorted. Yeah,
I'm excited for the Washington collection. I'm distracted by this photo, looking at what all the binders are.
Right.
I love the organization there.
Yes, our office does not.
No, I'm just jealous. I'm like, wow, can we get how many binders on a shelf?
They're
just laying on the floor.
Yeah.
So okay, we'll do an auction preview coming up. Any other? Let me just check.
Nord Stamp said that we should have him on sometime. We'd love to.
Oh,
we'd
done.
love to talk. Yeah, we'd love to talk about that.
Done. Yeah.
Yes.
We will tweet with you.
Yes, we'll send you a DM and figure it out.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
I cut you off though. You were in the middle of something.
I was going to say what's going on in the auction world coming up. Paradise Valley has a sale tomorrow, the provenance sale. Oh, it's not a huge sale, but everything has a really cool provenance. They use
yeah. I did see. I've been seeing that for a while.
Yep.
Great guy, Tor. He's from Concord, New Hampshire, right? I live a minute and a half from him, walking distance.
Yeah. Oh, look, Auckland City Stamps has Bob Odenweller's New Zealand reference collection coming up for sale. Wow.
Really?
You know who Bob Odenweller is, I assume.
You've spoken about him before.
Yes, he's Mr. New Zealand. Anything New Zealand, he's the go-to. His reference collection must be marvelous. Looking at Cavendish has a sale coming up. Can I give a shout out to somebody we've talked about a lot, but I just want to give them an extra shout out in case anybody from their company is watching this.
Please do.
Social media and stamps are tough to blend sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to talk about Chris again?
No.
Okay.
Although hanging out with Chris Green the last couple of weekends has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I have to be honest. My favorite Philatelic account to follow.
Yeah.
Is Stanley Gibbons.
Yeah. Yeah. They've really been doing.
They've been doing it. They must have somebody full-time or nearly full-time doing this. But the 1972 board game, their auction highlights, everything is just so tastefully laid out, I feel.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. And I mean, look at a cover like that. It's just a first day cover, right? Except that the Queen's head is omitted. And there's only like a handful of them. So I want to give a shout out to Stanley Gibbons. I know they've got a couple of sales coming up, but I really enjoy their social media presence. Yeah.
They're phenomenal. They've been doing a great job. As always.
Yeah. So any other takeaways from Chicago? Anything
on YouTube as well? Sorry. You should follow them if you don't.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Any
other takeaways from Chicago? Okay. No, the Tiffany talk was a lot of fun.
Somebody else I want to mention really quick is a company called Build Your Club.
Yes. Their card is still...
Yeah. Now it's my turn to riff for a couple of minutes. So Build Your Club while Michael's gone. It's two gentlemen, Martin Miller, who was previously editor of the American Philatelist, current editor of the U.S. Stamp Specialist, and Steve Kennedy, who is involved in the Pennsylvania Postal Historian. I think he's the president of the Pennsylvania Postal History Society. These two guys have created, Michael's gone again, have created a company, a program where if you're a struggling stamp club that's been around 100 years, or if you want to start a new stamp club, they present sort of a framework to help you, administratively and in terms of marketing and advertising. They sort of give you, ground rules for how to build or found a stamp club. And I think a service like this is essential, especially as more and more clubs try to get online. How do you run Zoom meetings? How do you do all this? I think that this idea for a company helping people run their stamp clubs. Yeah. I say this a lot, but it's one of these ideas that seems obvious in hindsight. Of course, there's a need for this. Yeah. But Martin and Steve saw the need for it and actually did something about it. So I spoke to Steve about having them on at some point, the four of us.
Yeah, they reached out to us a number of times, and I was looking for the pamphlet that they gave me. I'm sure it's around here somewhere, but it sounds like an incredible initiative, and we really like to promote them a lot because it sounds like it can help out a ton of clubs.
This is the sort of new idea. Again, you see all the same dealers show after show, and that's great. But whenever I see a new booth like that, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So, that's basically all I've got for this week. Also, hope it's okay for a last minute shout out to the people at HipStamp.
Yes, that was a lot of fun. They were a lot of
from a socializing standpoint at Chicago. That was one of the highlights to get to meet.
Yes.
Anna, Amy, Kat, and Andrew from Hipstand, who were all just really cool and really nice, and look forward to seeing them at future shows, hopefully.
Yeah, they said they were going to be attending a lot more shows. It was awesome to meet them. They were sociable.
Our generation is fun whenever there's new faces like that. So
yeah, they said their booth was swamped the whole time.
Yeah, and they were giving away
new
cool
sign-ups
stuff, the hats, water bottles, everything. So great meeting them as well. But sort of a quiet news week, I'd say. Just again recovering from all the travel and everything. But I've got to go finish a couple of auction catalogs. I know you're busy. We'll do an auction preview soon.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, thank you to everyone for listening. Nor Stamps, we're reaching out to you.
Yes.
And that'll be another. I love getting people from new countries too on the podcast.
Yeah.
Just try and get as many different countries as we can. But that'll be a new one for us. And thank you everyone for listening. I think Olivia's listening, so I'm just going to say hi to her. Okay. I'll prove whether she's listening or not based on whether she texts me in a second. But yeah, Michael, this was fun, and I'll see you next weekend.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And again, thank you everyone for listening. And new episode Monday.
Yeah, we've got Vince King.
Vince King talking about his stamp exhibit that we talked about in last week's live stream.
Yeah.
That is legitimately revolutionary, which is not a word I use lightly. So that'll be a really fun episode to premiere.
Yeah, we talked to Mallard Stamps as well, and Scott Tiffany and
Ken Martin from the APS and APRL. So Michael, as always, great talking to you, and I'll see you again soon.
Yeah. All right. See you later.
Yep.